Guys, back again with another video. This is your preview for Liverpool's trip to Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium. I'll also be reacting briefly to the Champions League playoff draws which took place today. Obviously the big standout tie is Manchester City against Real Madrid, who meet yet again. But I'll be diving into that at the end of the video. But let's start with this game then. Bournemouth are flying high in the Premier League right now. I think they're unbeaten in 11 games. So by no means an easy game. Obviously, we are unbeaten ourselves for about 18 games, top of the table, you know, doing really well. But this is going to be one of our toughest games between now and the end of the season. And who would have thought that this would be the case at the start of the season? But credit to Bournemouth, they've been really good. And let's see what happens on Saturday. But let's dive straight into the lineup then. Alisson should return in goal. Then we will have probably a back four of Trent, Konate, Virgil and Robertson. Midfield picks itself, Gravenberch, McAllister and Szoboszlai. And the attack should be Mohamed Salah, Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz. But Slot could go with Darwin Núñez up front. So it remains to be seen. But this is going to be a very difficult game, especially if Bournemouth can continue their form. But I am going to go with a 2-0 Liverpool win, you know, or a 3-1. I do think we are going to be too strong for Bournemouth, but you know, you never know. This is going to be a tough game, like I said. But if we can get over this hurdle, you know, I think we take a huge step towards the Premier League title, because Arsenal play Manchester City on Sunday at the Emirates. So the gap could be 9 points by the end of this weekend if they lose that game and we were to beat Bournemouth. But yeah, I mean, earlier in the season, obviously, we beat Bournemouth by 3-0 at Anfield. Luis Diaz got a quick fire brace, you know, before actually Darwin Núñez scored the second goal, if I remember correctly. Luis Diaz put us ahead after Konate's pass. He rounds off the keeper. And then Darwin scored that banger of a goal with his left foot to make it 2-0 before Luis Diaz made it 3 before half-time. So that was a relatively comfortable win. Bournemouth did have a lot of shots on goal that day, but we literally finished the game off at half-time. But this is going to be a completely different game. You know, they look a lot better. So winning this game isn't going to be easy. But our record at the Vitality in general is pretty good, and I would fancy our chances to get a win at Bournemouth. So yeah, that will be my starting lineup. And it is really important we get over the line in this game, because shortly afterwards we will have the game in hand on the 12th of February against Everton, you know, and even if we don't go 9 points or 8 points clear of Arsenal this coming weekend, we will have the opportunity to do so in the derby, you know. But I'm pretty confident that Arsenal may just drop points this weekend. I'm going to go for a 2-2 or a 1-1 draw in that game, to be honest with you. But listen, as long as we beat Bournemouth, you know, all is well. We just get ourselves back up in terms of the momentum, you know, and yeah, and then we've got a cup semi-final home leg against Spurs. I would very much fancy our chances to win that game. So yeah, but just focusing on this game, obviously it's not going to be an easy task, but I do expect us to win the game. There is no question about it. It's a must-win game, and yeah, we're not far away from the finish line right now. The business end of the season is approaching, you know, and I would expect us to continue our great form in the league. But yeah, Manchester City versus Arsenal, that's also going to be an interesting game at the Emirates. Obviously, City are coming into a bit of form, so let's see what happens in that game. But if Arsenal drop points and we get the job done against Bournemouth a day earlier, then an 8-point gap puts us in a fantastic position with the game in hand, because anyhow we go 11 points clear of Arsenal or 12 points clear of them with the same amount of games played, it's over as far as I'm concerned. So from my point of view, Arsenal cannot afford to even drop a single point, really, because we've got such a good advantage on them, you know, with that game in hand as well. But this is going to be a very, very tricky game indeed. But with Bournemouth's play style, I do fancy us to create chances, because they are a very attacking team. You know, they've got the likes of Justin Kluivert, who has been on fire at the moment, on fire with that hat-trick he scored against Newcastle. Semenyo has been pretty much ripping it up for the majority of the season. You know, Kerkers is a brilliant left-back, one of the best left-backs in the league in terms of this season. You know, his performances have been brilliant. You know, they've got a very, very stable team in general. So by no means is it going to be an easy test. You know, keeping a clean sheet against this team is going to be a challenge, but I do expect us to score a few goals and get the job done, really. But let's see how it goes. I will be back with a review on this game, but yeah, let's just talk about the Champions League then. Manchester City versus Real Madrid. Once again, these two teams cannot stop meeting. It's going to be an interesting clash. I reckon Real Madrid will get the better of Manchester City, with the likes of Mbappe, Bellingham. I just think their attack is too good, Real Madrid, not to expose this City defense, especially from what we've seen from Manchester City so far this season. So, but of course, City do have a chance, but I just don't think they are going to be able to get through, over two legs, especially without a top defensive midfield player. Obviously Rodri is missing for the season. It's unlikely they will replace him. Obviously, it is deadline day today as well, so I don't think anything is going to happen in that regard. So it's going to be an interesting game. It is the main standout tie. Obviously, it remains to be seen if City can, knock Real Madrid out. They do have a chance, but I would make Los Blancos the favourites to get over the line in that tie. Obviously, a few of the others that stood out to me was Benfica against Monaco. That's going to be an interesting clash, maybe evenly matched, but I would go with Benfica in that tie. They've been really good in the Champions League so far this season. Benfica 4-0 win against Atletico Madrid. They beat Juventus 2-0 away from home this week. And on another day they could have beaten Barcelona as well if they didn't mess up towards the end. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting clash. PSG against Brest. A French affair over there, but you'd expect the French champions PSG to get over the line in that game. And yeah, I will be taking a keen interest on that game because we could face PSG in the last 16. Obviously, unless they somehow go out to Brest, which I can't imagine. But also we could face the winner of Benfica or Monaco, so that's going to be an interesting one. AC Milan have been paired to face Feyenoord. Not an easy game for AC Milan. They're going to have to be at their best, against Feyenoord to get through that one. So some interesting ties all around. Juventus will play, if I'm not mistaken, who are Juventus playing? PSV. Yeah, that's going to be a good game as well. But if Juventus carry on in this vein, I wouldn't be surprised if PSV beat them because Thiago Motta's team just can't stop drawing at the moment. So that's going to be an interesting one for sure. But yeah, let's just see what happens. The ties will take place on the 11th and 12th of February. But yeah, just reeling it back to Bournemouth versus Liverpool. Really, really important game for us. We have to win this, I can't stress this enough. I think every game between now and the end of the season is essentially a must win. And I hope we do that on Saturday, and just continue our momentum in the league. We've had a few draws, but we're back on track now after our big wins against Brentford and Ipswich. We're back on track. And we badly needed that, to be fair. And it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Like I said, my score prediction is a 2-0 or a 3-1 victory, and that would be, I wouldn't say it would be a statement win. I wouldn't go that far. As good as Bournemouth have been this season, I wouldn't go that far because it's still a game I expect Liverpool to win, of course. But yeah, I mean, it's not going to be easy because they've obviously beaten Manchester City, Arsenal early in the season as well. They've had some big results before, but like I said, we are top of the table for a reason. We are the best team in the league so far, and that will remain the case, and we are top of the Champions League. We've finished on top, so we're favourites on all corners, really. But let me know what you think in the comments. Who do you think will win this game? Obviously, Liverpool are the favourites to win it. Do you think Bournemouth can spring a surprise and get a draw or maybe even a win? Let me know in the comments, and also give me your thoughts on the Manchester City Real Madrid tie in the Champions League. Just to quickly touch on it as well, Manchester City will be at home first, so that means they'll be going to the Santiago Bernabeu in the second leg. So not the ideal situation for Pep Guardiola's team, but yeah, let me know what you think, and we will find out our opponents as well, at the end of next month, because the last 16 ties take place in March. But I'm going to wrap it up shortly. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I hope to catch you in the next video, which should be a review on Liverpool versus Bournemouth. Hopefully a positive one. This could be a tight game, I'm not going to lie to you. All we have to do is just win our game. At the moment, I'm not worried about what Arsenal are doing. We just got to take care of business and get the 3 points at the Vitality Stadium. So like I said, let me know what you think in the comments. And just before I close it off, I just want to say thank you very much for tuning in once again. It means a lot, and hopefully you can continue to tune in, hit the like button, subscribe. You know, I want to get to that target of 100 subscribers very soon, and then hopefully build from there, you know, one step at a time. And like I said in my previous video, I do enjoy making these uploads, you know, and yeah, that's all I have to say for now. And thanks for tuning in once again, and hopefully Liverpool can get the 3 points. Up the Reds. Catch you in the next one.